Oh,
Aloha, beautiful souls. Welcome to another amazing, wonderful episode of A Better World with Adrienne, where everything we do here is in the service of, hey, how do we make a world we're proud of? How do we channel our gifts? How do we heal, grow, up level? And today's episode is really, really special. It's really, really important. And I get to welcome and share with you an amazing soul who is a longtime client of mine and just soul family at this point, Vanessa Ferrier. So, welcome, Vanessa.
hi, Adrienne. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you and co create this space together.
It's
So,
been such a blessing.
yeah, yeah. And I really, before we get into the altar, I just want to share as part of the altar, just who are you?
Oh my gosh. I am an amazing, loving soul who truly just leads from the heart.
Hmm.
And I think the biggest way to describe me is prior to starting on my self-development journey, I lived my life with this passivity, like this is my life. I guess I can't hope for anything more. And
Mm.
then when I started really working on my healing from the inside out, I started to get excited.
Yes.
And I've just taken my life and run with it, and I'm brave and I'm bold and I empower other people to live the life in the way that excites them. And I'm a therapist. I love to dance. I'm a breathwork facilitator. You and
Mm.
I completed breathwork teacher training together.
Mm.
And yeah, I'm just in love. I'm in love with you, and I'm in love with this healing journey that we're both on. And I'm grateful and very honored to be here.
Wow, Queen. Your whole aura changed when you're like, I got really excited.
I got really excited.
You're sharing about how you're in love with life and just like I'm in love with you too. I'm in love with because I believe that souls cross for certain reasons and there's about a bazillion reasons that our paths crossed. And so this co-creation to you listening, like anybody out there, this conversation is to showcase the power of transformation, the power of living a life on fire, and then in encapsulating, it's like when each of us do this, we can't help but make a better world. It's like the awesome byproduct of this dream living knowing creation. So
Absolutely.
so grateful to have you. And before we dive fully into the transmission, let us call upon the altar. The altar is saying thank you in advance to spirit for this chance to connect, to grow, to heal, and a reminder that spirit, Mother Earth, the source, the web that holds us all together, whatever word you have for it, really is the guiding light for a better world, for new earth. And so just placing your hand on your heart and allowing your heart to be the first thing on the altar. Feeling your heartbeat. I have purple amethyst igniting all of our intuition. Of course, Vanessa has it too. I have a white unscented candle purifying the space, calling in all healed ancestors, guides, the angels, your highest self. I have a lot of citrine bringing in abundance, bringing in the solar plexus for full power. I have pink and red hibiscus just sharing their love with us, the healing power of flowers and the land. And I have my bare feet wanting to come through for the altar, reminding us that it is ancient and playful, and there's dirt and it's organic. So thank you, thank you, thank you in advance, Spirit, for this transmission. And now all of us, listeners, this community, let's take our 3 breaths together. Inhale through the nose. Feel the love of the ocean, of the whole earth, of the whole universe. Fill your body. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale this time. Opening up your ears. Allowing anything that doesn't serve you to float out and filling the void with possibility. Exhale out the mouth. And our last inhale, breathing in through the nose from the bottom of your feet, all the way up through the nose, this time bringing forward an intention. What you are bringing to this space, what kind of energy. Is it expansion, joy, truth, love? Is it a question? Is it a craving? Is it a worry? Bringing that intention that anything's possible. Exhale out the mouth. Gently blinking open your eyes. We arrive back in this space, in this conversation, in a better world.
Yay.
And let's roll.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so for everyone, I just want to state the intention again this is like major spotlight on Vanessa time. Like, you are a continuous example for me of what's possible when you do the work, of what's possible when you say yes to yourself, of what's possible when you just go and go and go. And it's like, when I look at, mentorship and all of these portals that I've shared my gifts, like, I just see you as a golden thread through all of it, as like one of the most deep examples of shifting your whole entire reality. So I really want to get into this. I know the people in my community are going to want to know your astrology.
Okay.
What's your big 3?
Gemini sun.
Mm-hmm.
What's the so I know I'm Gemini sun, Gemini rising. Is that the same?
Mm-hmm. They're the big 3, yep.
Yep. So 2 Geminis and Pisces moon.
Pisces moon. There's the
Yes.
mystic right there.
Yes. Deeply connected with my emotions.
And the mystical and the quantum and the subconscious.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And so really we met in breathwork teacher training. And then what happened from there, the first time we ever worked together was you did Sacred Social.
I did.
And just tell us about that. Like, why did you sign up? What happened?
Oh. Okay. I was thinking about this before we even started talking. One of the things that I want to share first and foremost was when we were in breathwork teacher training, like for most of breathwork teacher training, I didn't have an Instagram. Like I got one because like everyone else had one and they were actively using it through their businesses. And I remember when our mentors, Corey and Jess, said, okay, I want you to start sharing on your social media platforms who you are and what you do and how you can share your gifts with the world so that by the end, when you graduate, they're going to be like, yeah, sign me up. I'm totally interested. I remember I started crying
Mm,
because I was like, there is no way that I can get in front of the camera and just like share my heart with people. And
mm.
then I got Instagram and I just saw you doing it like no big deal. My name is Adrienne and I'm a reset breathwork facilitator and this is the acronym. And I was like, I mean, it just seemed so simple, perhaps because you'd been doing it for a little while, but to me, that felt terrifying.
Mhm.
But not only like did I see you do that, I would see you get on lives and you would do something special on Fridays. What was that called? Friday Fire.
Fire.
Friday Fire. Oh my God. Like I would listen to that consistently and I would look forward to that and I would be like, wow, like I can only imagine how liberating that must feel to get online and just share your thoughts and feelings with whoever wants to listen.
Mhm,
I would love to get to that place.
mhm.
And I was in the beginning stages of my business and I had heard Instagram could be a helpful way. And I I was instantly drawn to your energy. And I remember the first time we met face to face at breathwork teacher training graduation, we were doing this exercise, maybe you remember, where we looked into one another's eyes.
Uh-huh.
I started bawling
Mm,
because I just like I looked into your eyes and I could see the reflection of someone that I wanted to be.
mm,
Like I didn't want to be you specifically, but I wanted to be brave. I wanted to be bold. I wanted to laugh. I wanted to play.
mm.
I wanted to let go of the self-judgment. And I just felt like in that moment, you were peering into my soul and I was peering into yours. And I remember finding you some point during the graduation, and I was like, basically, I want what you have, girlfriend. Like I remember telling you, I love the way you show up. Like
Mm,
that seems so scary for me,
mhm.
but you make me believe that that could be possible.
Yeah. Oh, it was such a powerful, I remember that moment too. And like, I just want to reflect back to you as like, that's what we all are for each other, is like that mirror.
Mhm.
And just really honoring you, like, yeah, there's so much fear. And if you're listening to this conversation and you have fear about showing up, you have fear about being bold and all of that, it's like, I think that's pretty normal.
It is.
And how did you move through it?
I moved through it. Well, I remember when you reached out to me and you said, I'm offering this program specifically to support people in showing up authentically online, which was what I really wanted, called Sacred Social.
Mhm.
I remember even at the investment level that you had offered to me at that point, which is PS significantly less than your investment level now. I remember thinking, oh my gosh, girlfriend's tripping.
Even know how much it was.
It was, we're
It
not even,
it was maybe over. Was it $1,000? I can't
it was
remember.
a little over. Yeah. Yeah, probably around 1,000 something. But here's the deal. Like, my mind was trying to get in the way.
Mhm.
I knew that I really wanted to work with you. And I also am very fortunate to have breath work as my primary tool to work through anything that's keeping me stuck. And I
Mhm.
did breath work, and immediately after, I remember sending you a voice DM, and I was like, I'm in, let's do it.
Yeah.
Because I started to just really get excited, and I realized I was investing in myself and what I could become and what
Yeah.
was possible.
Yes. I just want to highlight what you're sharing is like, so you have this basically activation where you're like drawn to the energy of transformation of your own potential. Like that's what's turning you on.
Yeah.
And the mind will do that, especially when money comes up, especially when investing comes up. Like that's just part of it. And it really is the first step in the transformation is the investment
It
is like,
is.
hey, like I don't just say this, like I'm doing it, and guess what, I'm here to put my money where my mouth is, and by the way, I'm scared shitless, but this is happening.
It happens every time, and this is what I tell people. Every time I've invested in myself, I have always received so much more than I've given monetarily.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
and I also want to share from like anybody out there, a lot of people in this community, they're on a path of okay, personal transformation and like living your potential, and then but it goes further than that because it's like it's got to be bigger than me, than you, like it's for
absolutely.
something, it's for the world we're proud of.
Mm-hmm.
So I started that program on a whim. That was
You
like
did?
that was a download that I didn't expect at all, and I was like, huh, I guess I do show up. And I was like, maybe I'll do
Yeah,
that.
you
And
do.
then it was like meant to be a group container. It ended up being
Mm-hmm.
a one-on-one.
Yes.
And so what I really want to share as well is like, don't be afraid of starting and being seen starting small.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know one successful person that has like, led a master class or something like that. And it's a like a couple people. Like you start somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's just following that. And yeah, every time we invest in ourselves, honestly, it's so much more than a transaction. And it's very quantum. It's like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm investing this money, and then usually like there's some kind of immediate response from the universe, from spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so like I remember putting a deposit down on the highest investment I had ever made at that point, and I was like, I know I'm doing this. I don't know where that money's coming from. I don't and I wanted to say yes in a very powerful way, and then at the same time I was like, I'm also responsible with my money. And
Yeah.
so I put the deposit down, and it was like, okay, you have your spot, you'll start monthly payments when you're ready to start them. And it was a mentorship container. And I put that deposit down, and within 2 weeks, I had manifested the monthly recurring revenue that was way beyond the investment for that. And I remember circling back with those coaches, and I was like, hey, and they were like,
Woo!
that happened really fast. But that's the power of, and
Yeah.
I think it's important to talk about because so many people get hung up on the investment, and then it's like they don't change their life. They don't have the transformation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
don't let fear rule you in that situation. It's a huge important part of it.
It is a huge important part of it.
Yeah.
And I'll skip ahead a little bit. I'm just now recovering from a major back surgery, a 12-hour surgery. I was in the hospital for 6 days. I was off work for a month, and I had already been working with you for a month or two,
Mhm.
and I knew that I had this surgery coming up, and there was this like nag in the back of my head. I'm like, can I still work with her? Like, I'm going to be out of work for a month. How is that going to work?
Mhm.
I certainly don't want to run myself into debt.
Mhm.
And then like a week after I had that thought, I received an unexpected gift. My mom, who's passed away 4+ years ago, had
Mhm.
left me money in an unexpected bank account that we didn't know existed.
Mm.
And it wasn't really about the money. It was like that sign from the universe. Like, you are supported in this.
Mhm.
Like, go after what you are desiring, what you're needing for yourself. Don't worry about the money.
Mhm.
Like, really, right now, focus on your healing.
Mhm.
And the biggest part of working with you hasn't been my business. It's been really like focusing on my healing,
Mhm.
my physical healing through preparation for this surgery, through, being in the hospital for 6 days, for, the week, staying with my dad, feeling like I was out of my routine and floundering a little bit, and just having regular access to that consistent support.
Mhm.
It's been 1,000% worth it.
Yeah. Yes, and there's so much here. It's like when you're playing big, the universe will support you.
Yeah.
And it becomes clear when you build a lifelong relationship with spirit.
Yeah.
And you are someone who does that. So that
Yeah.
with ran quote unquote random account, you
Yeah.
know,
Not on accident.
orchestrated as just like, yes, you are fully supported. And then this is the power as well, because for people listening, I know we're going in and out, it's very quantum, but Vanessa joined my container Sacred Social back in 2019, and then she went on to do a one-on-one mentorship with me. And then, we stayed connected. That one was 6 months, I think. And then obviously we stay connected because once people are my like one-on-one client, it's like you just try and get rid of me. You're famous. um, and then
Want to get rid of you.
oh my gosh, yeah, it's the power of this work. Like I sit down and I'm like, huh, this is my job. This
Hmm.
rocks.
Does rock.
But so just to give the timeline, she did that first one-on-one mentorship and then, went ham, worked with other coaches, building her business. And then I'm on my way to move to Maui and she signs up for one-on-one mentorship again. And I'm like, oh my God. And so she's in her second round of one-on-one mentorship with me. And this idea of like focusing on your healing, and I always say your destiny will never call you to ignore your physical well-being, your energy, your emotional well-being, your healing. And something that really is different about the containers that I hold and what you've been a part of with me is it's like I'm not a business coach. I'm not a like I don't really have a niche other than like be the real you
Yeah.
and do
Good
whatever it takes
niche.
to get there.
It's kind of my niche too right now.
Yeah, and of course it comes through breath work and astrology, but like the deep emotional support, like the daily support and the coaching and you know the habits, like I'm a master of habits just as my background, but it really speaks into, because a question that I get a lot is like, well, what do people work on in one-on-one mentorship? I'm like, you just pull the thread and everything comes, it comes out to come up, or it comes up to come out. It's like I've signed up for containers too. I signed up for a mastermind around this time last year, and I was like, ooh, I'm about to scale my business. I'm going to do this. I'm going to reach all these other income levels. And what actually happened, I realized I was not going to stay in Chicago. I was going to move to Maui. It was the whole different evolution, but it was my soul's evolution at that time. So yeah, it's powerful. I really want to ask you, so when you think about where you started feeling really fearful about showing up, just like not even having your own business at that point. And now where are you?
Oh my gosh. So, like I started off like I started off in breathwork teacher training feeling like I had a lot of potential tools, but I was scared shitless to use them at
Mm-hmm.
a public level. I
Mm-hmm.
was a big part of it was I was really afraid, and sometimes still am, of how other people would perceive me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I get on social media and just start talking about stuff and sharing my light, are people gonna think I'm too much or fake or weird? Um, I was carrying a lot of self-judgment
Mm-hmm.
within the cells of my body, and I noticed that that really didn't go away, until I started doing breath work and receiving your support. And it's that saying, like, the people that mind don't matter and the people that matter don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Um but it really wasn't about them. It was about me learning to feel content with myself,
Mm-hmm.
like all areas of myself, like how I feel on the inside, who and how I love, how I feel about myself separate from family's perceptions of me, learning how to speak my truth, share my thoughts authentically with family. Boundaries and assertiveness with family was a biggie.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it's a biggie for all of
it's
us.
a biggie for all of us. And I mean, that was one of the things that I loved working with you. It wasn't just like we're only working on this thing. Like you would meet me with wherever I was stumbling in my journey, and then you would just ask me these questions that would often make me sob. And I would go really deep with them, and I would typically have a breakthrough, and usually that breakthrough was around me really feeling my own worth,
Mm-hmm.
like feeling that in my heart, and it got to the point, um like when I was able to, through my body, get out of my own way, get out of my mind's way, I was showing up online like it was nobody's business. It was like no big deal.
Oh yeah.
And people were reaching out to me and they were like, "Oh my gosh, you're so inspiring how you show up online and you share your heart with people." And I love to share that there was a time not too long ago where there was no way in hell I was going to do that,
Yeah.
and it's interesting. My relationship with social media is evolving. I'm pivoting. I actually just posted on Instagram today for the first time in months and months and months.
Mm.
But one of the things that you taught me, which I love, is like practicing having boundaries with technology.
Mhm.
So I'm slowly inching back in, but I'm not going to allow like all the notifications, all the pictures, all the videos, all the reels to just like bombard my entire day. I'm using it as a tool to authentically connect with others,
Mhm.
to share my message, to respond to thoughtful messages from others,
Mhm.
but not have that send me in a downward spiral, which actually goes right back to why we started working together in the first place.
Yeah, full
Full
circle.
circle.
Full
I'm just
circle. And
using it
then
differently.
it's you the path of worthiness and the heart and living it out.
Yeah,
Like that, this is a download that I've been getting. I got it on my hike over the weekend, but it's like a worthy person shows up,
they do.
and a person who shows up is worthy,
Mhm.
you know? And it starts with showing up for yourself.
Yeah.
And I got teary-eyed when you're talking about you just like feeling your own worthiness for the first time in that way.
Mhm.
Um, all the different parts of your life is like romantic, business, sharing your gifts, family. And what's the common denominator? You and your
Me.
soul, right?
Let's add health in there as another category.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about what you live today. Like,
Mm.
how is your life different? How has your life changed? Like, think back to that girl who signed up for Sacred Social, who signed up for the first
Gosh, yeah.
round of one-on-one mentorship. Like what's different? Like you were working another job, you were like it was all different.
Yeah.
Except the Christmas tree. I do want to share
The
with
Christmas tree has been up forever.
Emma is literally a unique light. Like she has a Christmas tree all year round, every year.
I
Like
do.
just magic.
I do. It brings me so much joy. So, I mean, okay, so I was working I first I was when we first started working together, I was working at a nonprofit alcohol and drug treatment center. That was where I was when I did breathwork teacher training. Um, I'll maybe just speak with the professional category first, and then I can go to other categories. And then I ended up getting a job that I stayed at for 9 months, and it became very clear that it wasn't the right fit for me. Like, I felt viscerally in my body, it's
Mhm.
time to go.
Yeah. So maybe just to give people a snapshot, be like, here's a snapshot of day one. Here's a
Mhm.
snapshot of like my life right
My
now.
life now. So, my life right now, I am a private practice therapist, and I'm so happy.
Mhm.
I support clients using my unique gifts of dancing mindfulness, breath work, and one-on-one therapy. And I just use my own unique skills without trying not needing to be anybody else but myself to support people and empower them to live their best life.
Yeah, you do.
And it's just like such a blessing because, like I said, the way that it was versus the way it is now, I have my own beautiful office in Point Loma that I
Mhm.
love and I share with a good friend. I spend time by the water regularly. I give myself a day off during the week
Yes,
to
you do.
just, like, take care of myself and have fun and be one with nature.
Mhm.
Um,
So
yeah,
you went from working for someone else,
yes,
not living in your purpose, in a situation that was not a full body yes,
yes,
to now you run your life. You have your own very successful business. You have an office. You're prioritizing your health. You're not burnt out. You're living in alignment. Your personal life is expanding.
it sure is.
It's everything. And so I just really want people to see that, like, this is possible for you, for all of us, when you say yes to yourself, when you show up and do the stuff consistently. Like, you can change your whole fucking life. And it's deep change, which is uncomfortable and uncertain, but that's where the magic is.
It is.
Yeah, and you are
You
just someone who, when you say yes, you say yes.
Oh,
And
yeah, I do.
we've had similar life experiences of, you got to be willing to go toe to toe with yourself.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I just really see you and honor you, and holding space for you and your transformation has been and continues to be an honor just to witness.
Thank you.
Because just like anybody, some days I'm like, does this matter? Like, am I doing the thing? Like,
Yeah.
and I share that part of me because it's like, I'm not a superhuman,
Oh,
I'm a human.
y'all are.
It's like, um, yeah, because look, and it's just, you are the evidence, you are the example. And I guess I would say, I mean, breath work is a huge part of what I do with my clients, and you're a breath work facilitator, and it's written in her astrology, everybody, like Gemini sun, Gemini
Amen.
rising,
Mhm.
Gemini rules the lungs. Like, so many of my clients are Gemini, and my second house of
Mhm.
and money is Gemini. So I guess the final question would be, if you're speaking to anybody who's like on the fence, or they've been wanting to invest in themselves, they've been wanting to do one-on-one mentorship, like, what would you say to them? They're like at their computer, they have the link, or they're like, oh, I want to do this, but you know just what would you say to them?
Mm. I would say, before you even start typing or click in your information, I invite you to pause in stillness and imagine your life a month, 2 months, years from now. Imagine all that you want to achieve. Imagine who you desire to be, the people that you want to come in contact with, the lives you want to change, the feelings in your heart, and all that's possible. Place a hand over the heart and just feel that from the inside out, and allow yourself to get excited, because every single thing that you desire, you are capable of creating when you
Mm,
say yes to yourself.
mm,
And when you say yes to yourself, anything's possible.
mm,
Like, I would say making that initial investment is the first step.
Mhm.
And it's also empowering as fuck.
It is.
Like you acknowledging, holy shit, I am worth the fucking money.
Mhm.
I'm worth that thousands and thousands of dollars because I believe that I'm capable of achieving great things and I see that for myself and I'm damn well going to make that happen
Mhm.
because I'm already saying yes to me.
Mhm.
That's
Wow.
what I would say. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what I've lived.
That's what you've lived, and that's why you say it.
Yeah.
Because you don't, here's the thing, you don't believe it, you know it, because you've lived it.
Yeah.
And so that was a very, it's very important for us to see examples. Like obviously, when we're innovating, we're going to be doing new things, but it's like there's things in my life that I never would have done if I hadn't seen. I was like, oh, that person did this. Oh, that person did that. Oh, that person did that. And so for you to share, like in that choice point that all of us have,
Mhm.
and it's like too many people walk away when their dreams are just standing there.
Yeah.
So I
And
love.
keeping in mind, I was initially, prior to this journey, like I was someone that didn't even offer myself the luxury to dream.
Mm,
And then I started meeting people, Corey and Jess, you, other people in the teacher training program that like really inspired me and showed me like, wait a second, like I could wake up every day excited to go to work and, share my gifts.
uh-huh.
Like I could create something amazing, which one day I want to start my own wellness center and I'm excited about that.
Oh, it's
Like,
on the way.
oh, it's on the way. It's definitely on the way. Um, but like I really am living testimony of what can be possible
Mm-hmm.
because I was the doubter and I was the judger of like, oh no, you don't, that's too much money to spend on yourself. You
Mm-hmm.
don't do that. You must be like filthy rich in order to afford that.
Mm-hmm.
I invested, prior to working with you, I invested thousands of dollars working with one-on-one mentorship with my, breathwork facilitators. I was working in a county-funded alcohol and drug treatment program, but I knew and I could see what was possible
Mm-hmm.
at a pivotal point in my career.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my initial introduction to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then every other person I've worked with after that has stretched me more and more and more,
Yeah.
and I'm grateful for it.
Yes. Yes. And it's that holding of the frequency
Mhm.
and then meeting the frequency and the stretch. And I like to say it's like it should turn you on and stretch you and scare you at the exact same time. It's like
All of
allow
the above.
yourself to be excited, allow yourself to be turned on by the possibility of your life, and also be deeply uncomfortable.
We
Like,
all know that's happened.
thank you so much for just sharing and sharing your journey with all of us and offering a window into your story as a powerful example of what happens when you say yes to yourself, what happens when you do dare to dream, and not just dare to dream, but dare to do, dare to lead yourself. Because like even that choice point of, it's all fun and games until you get to the payment link and you're like, oh fuck.
Oh shit.
And you
I don't know about that.
you lead yourself through it powerfully.
Yeah.
So I just love you. I honor you. And to anyone out there who is considering one-on-one mentorship, like, let this be an example for you. Like, I am calling in my soul aligned people that I'm going to ride with in one-on-one mentorship in 2024. And if you feel a call, the link to apply is in the show notes, and just let this message land in your heart, in your soul, like beyond the mind, that yes, you can and will change your life when you choose yourself, when you say yes to yourself, like Vanessa said.
Mhm.
And it's for you and the whole world, because it's so obvious how much the world needs all of us in our full potency.
Yep,
Hmm.
absolutely.
Thank you so much for being here, Vanessa.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's an honor to walk together, and I just love you, and I see you in your greatness. I always have, and I see it more and more and more every day.
Thank you.
All right, fam. Go out there, take action, feel into this message, feel into one-on-one mentorship. Go to the application if you feel the call. Go out in the world, make a stranger smile, because it's fun and it changes everything. Don't forget how unique you are, how amazing you are, how rare you are. Love you all so much. I will see you next time on A Better World with Adrienne.